Yeah, hello. There's this upgrade of Windows 10 to Windows 11. I'm getting messages on WhatsApp on what is my take. Some people are worried their computers will stop working after the shift, and that is not the case. Actually, I would say that the upgrade is mainly for people who, like right now, if you are on Windows 10, is not a must for you to shift to Windows 11 because there's no need to. If you're that person who just use your computer for personal, if you have, in short, if you have backed up everything in your computer and you are not afraid to lose anything, then why would you even bother to go to Windows 11 if that is not what you want? Yeah, I know there are people who like to go with the current upgrades, that everything that is happening, somebody want to upgrade, but some people don't. Like me, I don't like to be the pioneer of a lot of stuff because I know sometimes they come with a lot of mishaps here and there. So where did we start in the journey of operating systems? For me, I would say I never worked with Windows Vista. Yeah, I think I met Vista, but came in very old devices. Windows XP, I was a small boy. I happened to use Windows XP. Yeah, I remember that time. And one of the major problem, I remember with Windows XP, it was that part of download. If somebody can relate this with me, these people had to wait for you. These people had to make you wait. Yeah, we used to have an application called Internet Download Manager, where files were jumping from net. There was a symbolic of an internet, and the other one of a folder. Something used to jump from, files are jumping from the internet to this other part. And the part that really bored me, and really that thing was painful, you would wait for that thing until it's 99%. And remember those days the internet was not that fast. It was not very quick. And only at that particular point at 99%, and then you'd see download failed. That thing is painful. I can't remember how many people damaged their machine then because of that frustration after you have waited for that long, and all of a sudden the thing can't do that anymore. So we also had Windows 7. Windows 7, I think I can say that it was better. Yeah, I have enjoyed Windows 7. Windows 7 actually, I can, so far, is the best OS that Microsoft have really come up with. That one I can commend. And now we have the Windows 10. Windows 7 was, I think they stopped supporting Windows 7 on 14 Feb. And I shifted to Windows 10. As I told you, I don't like to be a pioneer because I want people to test it. I want to hear the reviews from the people before I shift in. I don't want to be part of that mess that you are shifting in, because I once ran into Windows 11. I ran my system with Windows 11 and I had to come back to Windows 10. So I was not happy with so I don't like to be the pioneer. But those people who are worried about shifting to Windows 11 is not a must. Right now, I know people who are still in Windows 7 and everything is running fine for them. They don't have, the only thing that will force you to go to shift to the other thing if you have a software that is not supported by the current window you are having. I know somebody will say you're not going to get the security updates and security features. Fine, some of us don't need them. If my laptop have got a sound, it can, graphical interface is working, I can watch a video, I can download a Word document and everything. I don't need Windows 10, Windows 11. I can still work with that one. The people who are forced to go there, if you have applications, and that's when you find that if you don't change will force you to change. Change is inevitable, because even those people who are using Windows 7, one day you will have a software that can't be supported by Windows 7. You'll have no choice to just to go to Windows 11. So Windows 11, there are some things that have been promised on Windows 11. I think they are saying there's better performance. I think the Android application are going to be supported well than Windows 10. I don't know, I've not used it. They're talking about faster speed, reliability and whatever. But there's one problem that we have always faced with Windows. There's a very key problem. The BSOD, black screen of death. Black screen of death has been a very big problem for Microsoft operating systems, especially the Windows 10. Now, I saw on the internet they talked about the BSOD, the blue screen of death. Now they will take it to a black screen of death. It will come from blue screen of death to a black screen of death. And the question I kept asking myself, is that an improvement? So is that an improvement according to you? So we have a black Komodo dragon that is eating people in a certain area. And for us to solve that problem is we eliminated the black Komodo dragons, and we have brought white Komodo dragons, which are still eating the people, because the black screen of death still affect users. You won't be able to use the laptop same way as it was. You are not able to use the laptop during the blue screen of death. And here, that's when Linux starts to gain popularity, especially because Linux, they have a very stable operating system. And what Linux have been able to do, unlike the Windows, the blue screen of death, if we look at the genesis of the blue screen of death, first, let's start. Anoes is a big program. It's a huge program that consists of other small programs. Main programs interact with the hardwares and control other processes. We can use like the graphical interface, processes like graphic interface. All of that is called kernel. That is kernel. Okay. Now, kernel is supposed to work together with drivers. You see? Because on the Linux, driver is not an application. On Windows, drivers are applications that are supposed to come and merge with kernel to be able to work together. And if they cannot work together, if the developer is not very keen on marrying the two, the kernel and the driver, then that is a very huge problem, because that's where the blue screen of death used to occur. I can't remember how many times customer brought some machines to me with a blue screen of death, and all I had to do is to remove a driver by the name Realtek. It used to be for sound, a Realtek driver. I just uninstalled that driver, and the blue screen of the BSOD, blue screen of death, is gone. You see? So kernel can create an error. So the blue screen of death is when kernel doesn't recover from an error due to this application called the driver. And that's where Linux have done marvelous, because for them, driver is a code that has been married or merged very well with the kernel. And that's when a lot of people, and those are not novice or starters. I would like to say those are people that have advanced. Those are advanced in you when it comes to using operating systems, because people who are very good in advanced, I would call them maybe professional there. We have novice, pros, semi-pro, you know that one. I'm saying like people who are advanced. Most of them find Linux to be a better option than Windows. Others, we find the Mac OS. There are people who can't use a Mac OS and Linux. They don't know how to use them, and it's not a big problem. The Microsoft will still do something, but now is the problem of the blue screen of death. So those are the only major things I've seen. So improvements when it comes to upgrades, sometimes for me, I don't feel like the upgrades are worth for me to change from this operating system to the other. As I told you, I don't like to be a pioneer. You guys rush there, face it, experience it, and then I'll take your reviews, and only when I'm sure, then I'll come on board. This thing also happened with the iPhones. It didn't make sense for me why an iPhone 10 or iPhone 11, when there's an upgrade from iPhone 11 to iPhone 12, I would see the upgrades that have been done on the iPhone 12 and the features and whatever, and I really could not get sense why I should throw away my working functional phone just to go and take iPhone 12 or the higher of it. But you know, these things are not done because they make sense sometimes. I think people just want to rush with technology and to claim that I'm updated with technology, I'm with the latest device, I'm with the latest everything, which is good. It's good for you. If maybe other people's talks gets into you, maybe, hey, why using an old phone? For me, I think I don't care. I'll use my old phone. You talk about it. You don't talk about it. That's your problem. Because I don't know how then people, you can be, you know, sometimes rushing with everything, especially when you don't have finances, is not the best thing, because you end up getting stressed up. People are very quick to talk about your old pen. Let me use a pen because I'm holding a pen here. They are very quick to talk about your old pen, and they will be very quick to come and correct you, like, hey, you shouldn't use an old pen. But the only person I can give that freedom in my life, or the only person I think have that liberty and strength to come and talk my old pen, is a guy with a new pen who comes to me and tells me, leave your old pen, I'm giving you a new pen. But you'll be surprised, people only criticize without any solution that they are giving to you. Why do you have iPhone 11? We are at iPhone 15. And ask him, okay, I have here 100,000. Can you add me something on top so that I can buy that iPhone you're talking about? No. They're just concerned with what? So to me, I think it's uncouth for you to go telling somebody, you don't have this, please go to, especially when that thing is not very important, it's not very basic. Leave him alone. If you see somebody with an old shoe, at least go with a new one before you utter any word about the old shoe. First and foremost, you have not understood where this guy is coming from. You don't understand why he's having an old shoe, but you just come, hey, remove that old shoe. Why are you wearing old shoe? Okay, come with a new shoe first. You can talk about his old shoe if you have a new shoe. So yeah, I've seen this because I'm in my industry. I'm repairing devices, the iPhone, the Samsung, and the laptops, and I get a lot of guys here who want to rush with everything that is popping out in the market, the MacBook, the M1 processor, and whatever. But some are struggling financially. If you are good financially, that's fine, but some are struggling financially. They have stolen stuff. I've found myself in police stations because somebody came and brought us stolen stuff. The good thing is I document everything myself. You come sell something to me, I have a sales agreement, so to protect myself, because I know guys are weird, and I see how people struggle to just to try to get in fashion, or maybe to be called latest. You are latest and you are struggling so much, and to me it's too much stress. It's not even worth it. Why can't you just leave that group, trying to catch up with the Johnnies? What for? If it's not stressful to you, because there are people who have that financial capability, fine. But if you don't have the finances, why do you want to catch up with the Johnnies? Live your simple, soft life, quiet life. And it's the best, actually. You don't have to do everything. I have people who try to tell me, hey, I have this amount, ship the phone or give me this iPhone, abusing, then I'll pay you later the balance. Sometimes some of them, and this is a real, they force you. They'll force you here. They'll try to push it in through your throat, and after sometimes, now instead of him coming and paying up the bill, now is a story. Hey, I can't get the money now. You know what, can I return the iPhone, and then maybe you can. And the question is, nobody was, you are not at a gunpoint to use that phone. It was just something. So I think it's also very important to be careful of these upgrades, because sometimes as this new generation, that's where we're getting, that's the biggest source of depression and stress that we are putting on ourselves. So you don't have, so the people asking me about the Windows 11, you don't have to shift unless you're forced to. About the drivers, they're saying that you can pay $30 and they can give you a whole year support for Windows 10 before you shift to Windows 11. Me, I don't have problem with it. I've seen people who use Windows 11, especially people who have old stuff and they don't know where to get those drivers. Sometimes if you format that machine and those are the drivers you had, and where are you going to get them? And so some guys don't even feel like shifting because there's too much risk involved and a lot of work involved, and you could come to Windows 11 and a lot of your application and softwares are not working. So it's not a must you shift to Windows 11. You can still work with Windows 10 and you'll be okay. Just shut your ears from people who tell you, hey man, come be advanced, now you're in Windows 11. People talk sometimes out of nothing just to pass time, so you don't take that seriously. So that's it for today. Yeah, I think that is my take on upgrading and whatever. So I think it should not be a big deal. It's not supposed to be a big deal.